Day week. Oh goodness. So the meeting's being recorded, just in case you didn't hear that. So make sure to turn on your videos and smile pretty. Welcome to Chop and Shop with Jewel-Osco. So we're super excited. We're working with Weber and Dustin, our grill master for this evening, ahead of our Chop and Shop events that are happening this weekend and next. So make sure to keep an eye out. If you want a Zoom background, I'll put that in the chat as well. But until then, how you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We can't ask for better weather. It is a little hot, and I don't know if I'd ever say that or complain about the weather, but it's a little toasty out here today, but we're still excited. We have our grills going. We have some awesome food that we're going to make. And, like I said, we're happy to be here.
Exactly.
Folks,
how can you complain with cooking?
Wow, that's it. I got this beautiful lake behind me. I kind of just want to jump into it. But that might be another day. So, but for you folks that don't know me, my name's Dustin Green. I'm the culinary grill master here for Weber. And I am actually coming to you live from where it all started. Back in 1952, Weber got its start in Palatine, Illinois. Well, we're standing here at our global headquarters in Palatine overlooking this beautiful pond. We have our corporate office, behind the camera. And, we have some great recipes here that we're going to cook for you. We're going to talk a little bit about some steps about how we got from point A to point B. And, we've bought all of these great products at our Jewel-Osco. And, we're always excited to work with them on these great projects. So I'm going to jump in though, right into our first one. So we created this burger, and it's an incredible burger. And they're coming out to me now because it's too hot outside to keep the meat out. And you'll hear us kind of talk about this as we go through. You want to keep your meats and any of your proteins as cold as you can get them before you get them onto the grill. And, that's the biggest thing. What we're working with is Laura's Lean. These are some great 92.8 burgers. They're on the leaner side. With a burger though, like if I had this sitting outside and I leave it on the table for more than about 5 minutes, what happens is the burger comes up to too high of a temp, and then we're going to deal with sticking issues on our grill, and we don't want that. So what I did is we kept them on the inside in our refrigerator. They came out to me right as you saw it a couple minutes ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to season these, and I'm going to get them onto our charcoal grill. So we have a 22-inch original kettle here, and this is very similar to our original kind of back in the day. It took its shape, about 1955, 56 area, and it's still the same pretty much shape it is today from back then. When we're cooking the food, and you'll hear us talk about it today, it's really about process, and everything that drives what we do is the thickness, and it'll be the time, the temperature, and the technique. So how long are you going to cook it for? What temperature are you going to cook it at? And then the technique. And when we talk about that, we talk about direct or indirect. And I had this grill set up for a 2-zone cooking with our charcoal in the back. So the charcoal in the back is our direct zone, where our food is going to sit right above that, and we're able to get the color and caramelization that we want. And then our front part that doesn't have the charcoal, and I don't know if you can kind of see it. Oh, I got a grill basket on there, which we're going to talk to here in a minute too. We have our direct zone and our indirect zone. And that's the biggest thing. And back to that thickness, and thickness drives all that. So with our burgers, these are about a 1/2 inch thick. They're going to cook in about 10 minutes. So we're going to use that direct zone. So what I do with these, and the simplicity of them, is we're just going to oil. I like to use just salt and pepper. You can really season burgers with whatever you want. Weber has a great gourmet burger seasoning that we sell. Or you can just grab any of the other seasonings that you would like, that are out there. So for these burgers, like I said, we just oil and we salt and pepper them. I'm going to use our gourmet or our premium grill glove. And these things are incredible for, anytime I go to the grill, I want to make sure that I have this glove on. Pick up the lid, and we're going to put our burgers on. So if I preheated that grill properly, I hear a nice sizzle from the burger. And that means that those fats and that meat is starting that separation from the grate that we want. If I put the food on cold, what happens is it just sticks automatically. So then the burger's coming up to the temperature at the same time the grill's coming up to temperature, and it doesn't get that separation that we want. So that's perfect. You also saw that I had a grill pan on there, which I pre-cooked some of these onions because they take a little bit of time. As I'm preheating that grill, so I put the charcoal on, I let it sit, We put our charcoal in our chimney starter. So I fill it up to the brim. I use 2 of these, thank you, lighter cubes. I put these underneath it and I light it. And what the chimney does is it kind of gives us a built-in timer. You start to see the smoke from the charcoal come out the top. After about 15 minutes, it goes away. I take a peek over the edge and I can see a little bit of that ash ring on the outside of the charcoal. Then I know it's ready to put into the grill. Once I put that charcoal in the grill, that's when I put that grill basket on, because we kind of treat it the same way that you would a saute pan. You want to preheat it before you put your food into it. Same thing like our grill. So easy part, hit these with a little bit of oil, hit them with a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to toss them around a little bit in that oil. My bowl's a little bit small, but it's fine. And we're going to put them in the pan. So onions take about 10 to 12 minutes. Burgers take about 10 to 12 minutes. Beautiful thing about burgers, and with these ones, we're using our beautiful ballpark hamburgers. You know, for a 1/2-inch burger patty, we usually say it's about an 8 to 10 minute cook. I put it onto the grill, 450, 475 degrees. I set my timer for about 4 minutes. At that point, I'm going to flip it to a new spot on the grill. So if I have it on the grill in one spot, I'm going to flip it to a new spot because we've already taken that heat out of that one spot on the grill. So that's why I'm going to move it. Then I'm going to set my timer for about another 4 minutes. So we said this is about an 8 to 10 minute cook. If I go 4 minutes, and then I'm going to add 1 minute onto the end of it. And that'll be when we put our cheese on and we put our bun onto it. So for this recipe, we call this a black and blue burger. I season it with salt and pepper because that's what I had. But the recipe that we provided with it, we put a blackening seasoning onto the burger. So that kind of creates a little bit of heat. To kind of counteract that heat in the recipe, we're using our beautiful Treasure Cave blue cheese crumbles. So these are going to kind of be the opposite of that heat. These are going to bring that back down. It's kind of like when you're eating buffalo wings, you know, you have that blue cheese dressing, it kind of calms that heat a little bit. Same exact idea. And then we top this with these beautiful sauteed onions. And that's the idea, is just trying to add flavor, add as much flavor as you can. You want to get color on these onions. So typically I like to roast them a little bit low and slow, a little bit over lower heats to kind of let them take that time for those colors, that caramelization to build up. So, and that's kind of our first recipe, you know, kind of looking at the burgers and talking through it. You know, we got our charcoal grill that we set up. And, you know, that's it. So is anybody any questions in the chat so far, Stephanie?
Yeah, we've got a couple. So someone asked about how long you would cook each side of the burger.
Sure. You know, it's back to the thickness. If you buy the thicker steak burgers, which they're incredible at your Jewel-Osco, they sell the steak burgers in the deli department. For me, those are about a 10 to 12 minute cook because they're a little bit on that thicker side. 5 minutes per side. And then you add that extra minute onto it for your cheese and for your bun. It's always, in your cheese and your bun, all they're going to do is take 1 minute. And that's what it is. And the cheese melts, the bun gets toasted. I like that. Some people don't. But say 10 to 12 minutes. On these thinner ones that we did, these were with the Laura's lean as well. A little bit thinner, 8 to 10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so nice that they cook fast. So less wait time. And then what temperature do you recommend cooking the burger at? Like, what did you preheat your grill to?
We preheated this one to about 475 degrees. Okay. Now, it's the perfect temperature. You don't want to be too hot because you're gonna cook the outside before the inside cooks. And then the same thing, if you're too low, you don't get the color or caramelization on your burger, which is really what you want because it's flavor.
Exactly. And someone asked, what's the downfall from flipping more frequently? Which I think you mentioned it was the heat from the grill is lost every time you're like putting fresh meat on it, right?
And that's correct. So every time I open this grill, we're losing that heat and things just aren't going to cook. So you put it on, you put your food on, you set your timer, you flip it, you set your timer, and you know, open the lid once. And that's really all you have to do. We're probably at about 4 minutes now. So what I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to flip these two, you know, we're in the back. We're going to flip them to a new spot on the grill. Close that lid. And then we'll set our timer again for that 4 minutes.
Perfect. And then someone asked, do we need to let the burgers rest?
You know, with burgers, it's not as important as it is with steaks. I like to rest all of my food though, typically about 5 minutes. As much as we like food and people like to eat food extremely hot, it actually eats better when it's, in between. You don't want it room temperature, but you don't want it burning hot. You can taste the flavors better when it's a little bit, rested. And even with steaks, it helps with the tenderness and redistribution of the juices within the meat. So it plays a vital role there. Burgers, yes, probably the same.
Gotcha. Cool. And then someone asked, what would you recommend to use to clean the grill?
Oh, perfect. That's a great question. For us, we talked about that preheat process. We talked about putting the charcoal in it. Once I have that grill going for about 10 to 15 minutes with the charcoal in there and the lid down, the simplicity is just taking our 21-inch grill brush, which is available at Jewel as well. And I just clean the grates at that point. What I want to do is I want to burn up anything that might have been left over and turn it into, a powder, a dust before I clean the brush. And then I just take this, clean it off, put the lid back on, and you're ready to go.
Awesome.
So and then, simple, easy process.
Exactly. I mean, Weber makes it so easy with all of your accessories and everything. Like, it kind of takes the fun out of like trying to figure things out because it's already figured out for you.
Well, that's the fun part of our charcoal though, because like I love charcoal and I love the live fire part of it because we're cooking out here today. It's 85-ish degrees. You're going to have a different experience today at 85 if I'm cooking in December and it's like, say, 10 degrees. So, that's the fun. If people are looking for a little bit of a challenge or want a curveball thrown at them, definitely play around with charcoal.
There you go. And then what is your take on a wire cleaning brush versus a wood scraper for cleaning grates?
You know what? It's a personal preference. We do offer both of them up all the way at the end. I do have one out here that we're going to grab or we're going to show. Once again, it's just a personal preference. Some folks like the wire brush. There's other folks that are, I want the wood one. That's more for me. And, same thing. And here's our wood one. Cool. So yeah, we try to cover all the bases. It's kind of like our grill lineup. We got charcoal, we have gas, we have pellet, we have, thank you, the Traveler that's over here, smokers. We just try to run the gamut to kind of give everybody a little bit of everything.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to cover all the bases. And then one last question. Will sprinkling baking soda on the burger increase searing? Very, very good question.
I'll be honest, I can't say I've ever tried that. But in my experiences, if you're looking to get a crispier burger, one thing is you can put a little bit of oil on it because the oil will help with the smoke point to increase that. Or if you're really like set on that, you could increase your grill temperature a little bit. So there's different ways. I'm not going to say that. I honestly have never tried it. So if it works, awesome. I think Jason and I are looking at each other like we got to try it. But yeah.
There we go. Then yeah, it sounds like a very unique method. And then someone asked if you used the grill basket. Did you use that for the onions?
I did use that for the onions. The grill basket's so versatile. We do, onions, mushrooms. If you're doing fajitas, you can do, throw peppers and onions in there. And beautiful. So our burgers are good. Our onions are cooking. We're probably at about that last minute right now where I'm going to top them with a little bit of cheese. So I do have some finished ones up here to kind of show. Pull them right there. Oh yeah, there's our timer.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. You just want to give them a nice, if you like a lot of cheese, put a lot of cheese. You like a little cheese, go with a little.
There you go. So, and what a great view of the grill basket. I think it might be time for our first giveaway real quick. Do we have time for that real quick?
We do, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So our first giveaway, we're going to have one after every single recipe, so keep a lookout. Our first giveaway is the grill basket that Dustin was just using for the onions and, like you said, mushrooms to come. So we're going to give that away. The trivia question will be answered in the chat. So the first person to say it in the chat will win the grill basket. So the question is, where was Weber founded?
Anybody need a hint?
They went so fast. I don't think they need one. So Jennifer got it correct first with Palatine.
Perfect. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yay. All right. How's the burger doing?
The burgers are good. I just took them off. I think Jason kind of skimmed over our beautiful finished ones. So I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. The beautiful part is it's kind of sitting right in front of me right now. I just got to get through it.
There you go.
So, and those, like I said, this is a black and blue type burger. Throw a little bit of blackening spice on there, counter, with a little bit of the blue cheese, and you're good to go. So cool. I'm going to move on to our next burger, though, or our next item, which is a Cornish game hen. And, we've been using kind of dancing between these two recipes now for probably with Stephanie in 2-3 years now.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Well, when we started, it was amazing because we found out how much people really love a Cornish game hen. And it's, they're incredible. They're a breed of like a broiler chicken, so a little bit smaller. Typically you find Cornish game hens and they're, in the 1 to 2 pound range. So for me, I have a family of, 5. I'm probably going to cook 2 to 3 of them, depending on, if all the kids are going to eat that day or if I have people running around. But for 5, I'm going to cook 2 or 3 of them. We talk about preparation on this one. And, you can kind of see I have this sitting in a bag right here. We've done, we cook this 2 ways today. One of them is going to be a teriyaki style, and the other one we actually marinated in a Coors Lite beer. We like to use the bag method for marinating because you're able to turn this bag over, move it around. And what it does is it allows it to, you use less of a marinade, or even for this case, less of a beer. And, you marinate it in that. So then we just take it out. For this specific recipe, we built it in. It's called a spatchcock. And I have one coming, a little chicken I'll show you. Spatchcock is where you're going to take the backbone of it out. You can do it the same thing for chickens, for turkeys, Cornish game hen. But what it does is allows the hen to sit flat, and it cooks a little bit faster. So I can take these and, it's a little chicken. You can put it on the grill. You can put them on a rotisserie. These are incredible product as well. And, you just have different options, but I don't recommend regular scissors because you'll probably break them. We like what they call a poultry shear, which is a commercial grade or commercial type scissors, because these will help get you through the bones a little bit better. And like I said, we put this one into a beer marinade, and we do have a teriyaki that we're going to use with some sweet, some kikkoman. So once I take this out of the marinade, I'm still going to prepare it the same way I normally would. And the biggest thing with this is we're still going to oil it, because what happens is the same thing like we talked about with steaks. Well, with this one, here's our beautiful premium Cornish game hen from Tyson. So these are a great product, So, and here they are. So, and what we're going to do is we flip it over and we're going to cut out that backbone. So what happens to it is we're able to open it up and let it sit flat. So what we like to do with any type of chicken we cook when it's whole or it's pieces is it's typically skin side down first. We call that the presentation side. So with this hen, like I mentioned, we're going to oil it, which, typically for oils for us, we'll use a blended oil, like an olive oil and like a canola oil blend. It's just a very minor, like if any, like next to no flavor in it. So it's really there just to help the food separate from the grill. And then for this purpose, we're going to use, and I bet you I didn't open this. I did not. A Weber beer can chicken seasoning. So I'm going to get this. We're going to season this up really quick. We're going to put it on. This one we're going to cook on our gas grill. We're looking to be in that 375 to 425 range. You notice it's a little bit less than the charcoal, but it's the same thing as we're looking at a hen, so it's probably about 2 inches. It's a little bit on the thicker side. It's back to that. The thicker foods need a little bit less of a temperature so that they can cook all the way through. We hit it with the oil and salt and pepper. I gotta put my stylish coat glove on. Safety is cool. So, and then we're going to go with we're going to put it on. So for our gas grill, it's very similar to, the charcoal grill in terms of preheat. With this grill, and there is a right way and a wrong way to turn on a gas grill. The first part, we want to make sure we have a full tank of gas. Second part is we want to make sure that all of our knobs are turned off before we turn that gas tank on. So with gas grills, we call it puts your grill into bypass, which is a safety mechanism built into a propane tank. So if I have an open valve when I turn on my gas tank down low, what happens is it puts that tank into bypass and your grill's not getting up the temperature. So by making sure all of my knobs are closed that are off, I slowly open the gas and then I go knob by knob. And I'll turn this one on to our electric start here. I hit the button. Then I move on to the next one and I hit the button, and so on for the third. You turn your grill, you preheat it. We talked about a preheat at 10 to 15 minutes on the charcoal. It's the same on our gas grill. And after that 15 minutes, I'm going to take our grill brush and I'm going to clean it off. So the best way to do it is just let it do what it's going to do. Preheat the grill properly. We talk about it here at Weber. You oil your food, not your grate. And the idea with that is it helps with that separation, the caramelization, the color. If you oil your grate, we think about it, the oil has to go somewhere. So what happens is it just kind of hits the grate, it goes down below, it's going to collect into the grease management system in the bottom of your grill. And if you forget about it, it makes one heck of a mess. So we just try to alleviate that by putting it on your food. You're also going to use less. So, and that's kind of the thought process. On this recipe, we use some incredible, easy accessories that help us with this to make it, easier. We have these beautiful, our Kikkoman teriyaki glaze that we use towards the end of this. Anytime you're going to use anything with like a sugar in it, which the teriyaki glaze is typically a good amount of sugar, you put this on at the very end of your cook. We want to get these to about 165 degrees. That's a safe eating temperature for chicken before. So what I'll do is about a minute or so before it gets there, say in that 162 degree range, while the hen is still on the grill, I baste them with our premium grill brush while it's on the grill with that beautiful glaze. And I close the lid and I let it go for another minute or two. So we don't want to put it on too early. The sugars will probably take it a little bit farther than you want. Best thing is just to kind of hit it at the end. So, and that's our thoughts. We use our premium grill brush and we have, using our tongs. So, there's a lot of accessories we have to try to make jobs easier, and they really do. They come in handy, they're durable, they last. It helps you cook these awesome Tyson, Cornish game hens with our teriyaki or Kikkoman teriyaki glaze. It just makes it easier. And this is so easy to clean. You just go into your sink, rinse it out, and you're good to go. So that's the idea. So I set a timer on these too, because you're at home, you're talking to people, you're having a barbecue, there's all these kids running around. Last thing you want to do is forget about dinner. So set your timer, it helps out. We also have a thermometer that I would use. I have one on the table down here. It's coming my way. An instant read thermometer that helps out with making sure our chicken gets to 162 degrees. So that's the biggest thing. Thank you. So what do you think, Stephanie? How are you doing so far?
I mean, I'm drooling. All this looks so good. I love this entire series because we always get to cook the best stuff. Honestly though, the spatchcocking, I'll let someone else do that. But it's been awesome watching all these. We do have some questions if we've got some time to kill.
Perfect.
Awesome. So does Weber have a cookbook? Was our first one.
You know what? We have a couple, and we try to, over the years, it's like anything else. We have, you come out with a new one to cover a different topic. So we have a ultimate burgers cookbook. We have a smoke cookbook. Some of the older ones, there's a book called Way to Grill. We have Big Book of Grilling. I think there's an All About Chicken, book as well. So, and sides, yeah, All About Sides. So, we do have a good, library of different books that cover a different range of, ingredients and that kind of stuff. And, you just kind of have to figure out which one you like and which one's enticing. And, they're incredible recipes. There's grill setups in there to talk you through how to put your, preheat your grill and that kind of stuff. So it's not just recipes, there's instruction that's built into them as well.
Awesome. And then how long do you marinate the Cornish hens?
For these, I think we didn't go super long. What happens with marinades is when there's salt in them, the salt is what penetrates the meat. So the longer you leave something in a marinade, the possibility of more salty it's going to be. For these hens, with them being as small as they are, I probably go 6 to 8 hours max. And typically when I'm marinating, if I'm doing the teriyaki ones with the glaze to finish, sometimes I'll use a soy sauce in my marinade, but I like to use a green bottle, which is like the light soy, a little bit less sodium in it, which is great for marinating. And then it kind of takes that salt aspect out of it and helps you.
Good to know. And then someone said that her Cornish hens are so tender and juicy that the legs fall off the hen. Is there a way to stop that?
Well,
talk about fall off the bone.
As I say, it's fall off the bone. What I would recommend is if you get yourself an instant read thermometer, it's hard to say without standing next to somebody exactly what they're doing. But if you have your thermometer and you can kind of tell where your food is at temperature wise, it'll help you along the way to make sure, if something like that would be to happen, it's just going to help you so it wouldn't.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think the best part about the instant read thermometer is that you don't have to have the lid open for very long.
Well, that's it. You put it in, you're good. It takes, a couple seconds, gives you your temperature. Biggest thing with Cornish game hens, though, or with anything with the bone in it, is when you stick your thermometer probe into it, you want to make sure you're not touching any of the bone. You'll get a false reading on your thermometer because bone conducts heat, and it'll give you a bad reading. It'll tell you it's hotter than it really is.
Gotcha. And then can liquid smoke be used to marinate?
It could. It could. What I would say about liquid smoke, though, is I would just be careful with it. What's the word? It packs a good punch. It's it has a good amount of flavor to it, and if used, say, if it's not combined into something else. Thank you, Jason. It's concentrated. That's where I was going with it. So you might want to use it with a couple other ingredients as a flavor profile.
Good to know. And then we had another cleaning question. So do you clean the grill soon after grilling, or do you just wait until the next time that you grill?
For me and for we typically will clean it before we grill. And, the idea with a gas grill, or at least the thought is, you have to leave it on after you're done with it if you're going to clean it afterwards. Right. So you're going to use more gas. So what happens, you think about it is, you leave your grill going, you go to sit down for dinner, you forget about it, and next thing you know, you run out of gas. And, with the Weber, and what we know is you're going to have to preheat your grill anyways. You're going to put it on for 10 to 15 minutes. You may as well hit it at the beginning, because then it's like a dual process. And then you don't forget about it. And then you don't have to say, oh, I got to have my extra tank in handy because, I run out of gas. So.
Gotcha. And then I think you already talked about this, but do you recommend using a cooking spray before you grill?
Would that be on the food?
I don't know.
If you do use a cooking spray, definitely you can use it before. You put it on the grill. What typically, depending on these sprays, some of them are better than others because they have a higher smoke point, meaning at what point that spray or oil is going to turn and start to caramelize in color. So that's just the one thing you have to be careful with those sprays.
Gotcha. Yeah, they did clarify so on the grill, which I think is.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it on the grill. You don't need to. You're going to spray something like that on the grill. It's going to hit the heat of the grates, and it's literally going to burn right off. So it's not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then do you advise grilling Cornish hens and burgers at the same time?
You could. You would just have to watch, where you're at. You're about a 50-degree difference between the two, 50 to 75-degree difference between the two, say ideally of where you want to cook them. So if you raise the temperature of the hen and drop the temperature of the burger and say cook in that 450 range, you might not get as much color on your burger, but you might get a little bit more color on your chicken. So it's just kind of like a little bit of give and take to make that adjustment to be able to cook them at the same time. But by all means, it's definitely worth it. I do it.
Yeah, you got to find a happy medium.
Unless the person asked the question, and it's just for me, it's always a reason to have an extra grill laying around. So, I mean, if I have one, I may as well have two. At my house, there's 3, 4, 5, 25, 30, maybe more.
Quite the collection. Oh my gosh.
Well, we shot in my backyard last year, and I was trying to hide some of them
Oh
because
my
I was
gosh,
like,
that's right. There were so many. It was like a whole nother yard just of like grills.
and my wife likes to come outside, and she's like, "Is there any that you might want to give up?" And I was like, "No, I might use that one."
Yeah. Do you ever use any like specifically for like certain recipes? Are you like, ah, yes, the Cornish hen goes on this grill specifically?
For me, it just depends on, one, it depends if you have fuel, right? So if I don't have charcoal, I'm not cooking on charcoal that day. If I don't have gas, I'm not doing gas. Um, for me, I just try to rotate because I like to, cook on different products, because then you learn how they cook, you learn how they react. We're able to talk to them and teach to them. And it just helps out as we're able to give people advice on grilling if I fully understand each grill and its nuances.
Exactly. And then someone asked, do you ever adjust recipes when cooking on a charcoal grill versus a gas grill, or do you like specifically plan your recipe for gas or charcoal?
With a lot of our recipes at Weber, we build in a temperature range so that you can cook on the low side of it, you can cook on the high side of it, and you're still going to get good results. What we know about the difference between charcoal and gas is that heat is a little bit different. With charcoal, we do have a little bit more of a direct heat because we have the charcoal that we're working off of. With a gas grill, we have a burner tube that's underneath the flavorizer bar. And that flavorizer bar is, it's where it has a couple different functions where it helps with heat distribution of the grill, protects that flavorizer bar. And then as those juices drip on it, it creates a beautiful sizzle and the flavor emits to your food. But the heat source is slightly different. So, I might take a recipe with that range that we give, and I might go a little bit on the lower side of it for a charcoal grill. And for a gas grill, I might go on the higher side of it. And it really depends on what I'm cooking. Like with a game hen or with a chicken, we has a layer of skin on it. I'm definitely going to go on the lower side of it with a charcoal grill because I want to keep it the color and I don't want it what we call a thermal event. Beautiful thing about our grills, whether we have the vents, or, a charcoal grill, is the grill talks to you. It lets you know what's going on inside it. If you have this clean white smoke, your grill's cooking. It's beautiful. If you have a little bit of gray smoke, not bad. But as that smoke turns to a darker gray and even a black, it's kind of telling you, help, you need to do something here. And then it's with our safe zone that we built in the front, you can pull your food forward. With our, same thing with a gas grill, you can turn your burners off. So, it's just, like I said, that grill is kind of talking to you and it's helping you along as you're going.
Awesome. I heard your timer go off. Is your food good?
It did. I didn't even open the grill.
You're making me nervous.
No, we're good. We're good. We have some beautiful color on this hen. You can kind of see as I moved it, we didn't stick. Our skin is intact. We have that nice little bit of color. We're going to close our lid and then it's the same thing. We're going to go for about another 8 to 10 minutes. Before I glaze it, like I mentioned, though, same thing. I am going to take that temp on it because I don't want to put that glaze on too early. I want to make sure that we just have that nice, that perfect temperature, because then I don't, we call it the walk of shame, and it happens to everybody. I use thermometers religiously, but when I started, there was that walk of shame. You bring the steaks inside, you bring your Cornish hens inside. Somebody cuts into one and they're like, yeah, that steak or that burger. They're like, I need more time on it. It's not cooked right for me. Well, and then you got to take that cut steak or that burger and you walk a shame it back out to your grill and you got to put it back on. And, people will get their food eventually and it'll be cooked the right way. But, if you use thermometers and, it just alleviates those, it's been a long time since I had to walk a shame, but it's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. You are a grill master. So, but does the food keep cooking once you remove it from the grill? Is that what like the resting period is?
That's a great question, and it does. What we found out with burgers, with steaks, it's about 5 minutes, and in that 5 minutes, there's still going to be a carryover, meaning the food's going to continue to cook. The lower doneness levels of steaks, your rare and medium rare, have a greater carryover. What we found through our research, than your medium well and your well done donenesses. After about 5 minutes, that temp plateaus before it's going to start to diminish and go back down. But, at the same time, that resting, it helps with the tenderness. It helps with redistribution of the juices within the steak. And like I said, it just kind of keeps going. So, but we definitely love resting.
Awesome.
So
cool. And then someone
Hey,
asked if you initially cooked the hen skin down, which I believe was a yes.
absolutely. I'm definitely a skin side down with the presentation side. It gets that beautiful color coming off that grate to start with. So it's not like if that skin was up, it's starting to cook, the fats are starting to break down. When you flip it over, what I find is if you're not skin side down to start, the skin's going to stick on that second flip. So you definitely want to start it down first.
All right, good to know.
So, hey, these are great questions. I love how, I love it.
Yeah, keep them coming. Yeah, the chat function has been bopping, so it's been great looking at all these questions, and hopefully we're getting all of them. I don't think I've missed any yet.
Cool. If we want to jump into our second giveaway,
Yeah,
we're gonna slide to my left, to your right. You can see our beautiful hens that we did on our plate. We did our marinated one with the beer can chicken spice. We have our teriyaki glazed right here. You can see the beautiful thickness of this glaze, how it's kind of just taken to that hen, like as it's, that's that glazing process we talked about. And then we have our beautiful beer can one that we did. So, these look incredible to me. I can't wait to dig into them.
yeah, they look really good. I know that you were talking about so our second giveaway is the basting brush. So it looked very useful. So that's great for our Cornish hens and a bunch of other different recipes that we'll be talking about. So for our second trivia of the night, get your typing fingers ready. It is, what is the average weight of a Cornish game hen? So first one to get it right. Oh my gosh, they type so fast. Okay. I think the first correct person was Patrick with the range of 1 to 2 pounds. So Patrick, congratulations. You've just won a Weber grill brush for basting.
Nice job, Patrick.
Ta-da! I love these giveaways. They're so fun.
You know what? It's always nice to be able to help people out with accessories and that kind of stuff. It just makes, with grilling, and that's the great part, is that there's so many options and possibilities that grills can do. It's not just a grill. I mean, there's, the versatility of them to be able to utilize these things to, it's an outdoor kitchen, honestly, in reality.
Exactly.
So okay, so we're on to our next one, and this one is kind of similar to our first one, where it is a burger, but it's an Impossible Burger.
Ooh.
And we love Impossible Burgers. We have great time with these guys. We've done some work with them. They create a great, incredible product. This is sold, obviously it's a Jewel. They come in 12-ounce packages. As we look at this 12-ounce package, it's perfect for 2 burgers. These are with 6-ounce burger patties that we made up. So you take this pack back in the deli section, I believe is where they're at in the refrigeration. I'll break it in half. You can weigh it if you want. You can eyeball it. Same thing. I eyeballed them. We used our fancy burger press, which is great. This helps us keep these burgers in perfect shape. It helps them keep them round. It helps keep them for a nice even thickness. There's 2 sides to the burger press, one for a 1/4 pound size, the other for a 1/2 pound. So we can do thick and thin burgers. We did 6-ounce burgers. So I'm actually going to use the 1/2 pound side for that because they're a little bit thicker. So what I did with these, and I'm not going to open this because I want to save it, with these 2 that I have, we took the meat and we balled it up. We kind of, pressed it around. The biggest thing with burgers, if you're making your own burger patties, is you don't want to handle the meat a lot. You want to just get it pattied up. In this case, same thing like we were talking about. We wanted to get it back into that refrigerator so that we could keep the temperature of it. For these ones, same thing. We're going to do a little bit of oil and salt and pepper. And if you want to use a different seasoning, by all means do it. We're cooking these on Weber's latest and greatest gas grill. This is one of our favorites. So this is called our Traveler Grill. It's got this beautiful cart built into it, raises and lowers. It's a nice compact grill. I transferred our onions from the other grill because, like I said, we're kind of low and slow cooking these to get beautiful color. We can get a ton of burgers and sausages on this thing. So, you know, with these Impossible burgers that we just seasoned up, we're going to put them on. You know, this is the same process. You know, one thing we talk about it, you see, I put that nice dimple in there. You know, what this does is it's going to help this burger from alleviate what we call the meatball effect, where the juices and everything kind of run to that middle of that burger. And the worst thing you can do if that happens to you is to take your spatula, pop it, and let all that juice run out. Like, that's just flavor. That's moisture. If you want a dry burger, that's kind of what's going to happen to you. You know, but by putting that dimple in it, it stops that. So you don't have to worry about it. So, yeah, like I said, you know, we got that. We're using on this recipe, we used a sweet product, Hens, some mayo chup. So this is a nice blend right here. A little bit of ketchup, mayonnaise, and some special blends of spices that we're looking at doing. So we use this sauce on this burger. We have our beautiful onions. And then the process is really the same. We put it on, we set our timer. The beautiful part about Impossible is that it has the ability in the same thing. You can treat it like a regular hamburger. We grill it the same way. We patty it the same way. The doneness that you're going to cook it to, if you want a medium temperature, 140 degrees, it's the same thing. We put it on where that grill at our 475 degrees, close the lid, and you cook it and treat it the same way you would a normal hamburger. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And on this one too, depending on how, you know, people like to eat, we use some really cool Dr. Shar hamburger buns. These are gluten-free buns. So you put them into an oven for, you know, 5 or 6 minutes before you use them. It helps them, you know, fluff up and kind of finish a little bit of that process. We use those. We use our Heinz mayo chup, and we were good to go.
It's an easy recipe to put together. It's definitely one of our favorite plant-based burgers, so I'm super excited about those.
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, it definitely is. It's fun.
Awesome. And just a reminder, we will be cooking all of these recipes throughout the entire month for our Chop and Shop in-store events. So definitely keep a lookout for those. Someone did ask, does food come out more flavorful when cooked on a charcoal grill?
You know, it's a great question. We get asked it a lot. And charcoal is a means of a fuel. You know, it's there to cook your food. What happens with the flavor within grilling is that the juices from the meats or vegetables or whatever you're cooking, they drip onto it. Now, whether it's the charcoal that we have in our charcoal grill, the flavorizer bar of the gas grill, and they sizzle and they turn into flavor, and the aromas kind of swirl around the grill. The flavors are the same whether it comes off the charcoal or gas. If you're tasting, like, say, the raw charcoal, then the charcoal wasn't ready when you put it on the grill. But the flavors that emit, whether it be from the charcoal or flavorizer bars, are the same. So, yeah, it's a personal thing. It's just one of those, you know, you like charcoal or gas better. Everybody's got an opinion. I tell you, I love both.
There you go. And someone asked, what flavor bar and what's the best charcoal to buy?
The best charcoal to buy, there's a lot of great brands that are out there. I think it's just, you got to find one that you like, that works for you. It's really kind of a regional thing and a personal preference. We use a little bit of everything here. It just depends on, what we have laying around.
Yeah,
So.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So what are we waiting on? Are we waiting on
I'm waiting on a flip.
A
I'm
flip?
waiting on a flip. Yeah,
All right.
we have 5 seconds, and then it's going to be the same process like we would with the gas. We're going to flip it to a new spot on the grill and reset that timer and just kind of let the burger go.
All right.
Okay. Beautiful. So we have some cool things though that we cooked kind of along with this to, some accessories that are available at Jewel-Osco, and you can see this beautiful corn that we picked up, and we have these corn holder sets that, you cook your corn on the grill, hit it with a little bit of butter, salt and pepper it, And then when it comes off, you put these corn holders in it so that people don't have to use, wood skewers or whatever else they want to use. So, this is another cool thing with it being summer. Everybody, we were talking to folks last weekend, and I think 50% of the people I was talking to asked me, well, how do I grill corn? Hit it with a little bit of butter and put it on the grill. So butter, salt, and pepper.
Yeah, I got to keep it simple, but it is a classic.
Well, you could always twist it up. We did a recipe a while back with corn where we marinated it in tequila. And then we kind of turned it in like a Mexican street corn, hit with a little bit of mayonnaise and chili powder, lime juice, cilantro, and that kind of stuff. And same thing, you still use your corn holders. You just kind of add those extra flavors to it to kind of take it to the next level. So, but we still grill it. It's just that we just finished it a little bit different.
That's pretty cool. I would have never thought of that.
Well, it's a grill is a means, it's obviously you're cooking, you're having fun, but creativity comes in a lot of different ways, and we always recommend too, is just because you have a recipe doesn't mean you can't change it. I was always taught a recipe is a good base, but you can always take that recipe and tweak it a little bit. Like if there's an ingredient you don't like, you can take it, you can flop it, you can put something else in. And why not? It's the same thing. It works all the way around.
Awesome. And then someone asked, how long did you marinate the corn in the tequila? They're very curious.
I want to say it was about an hour,
Nothing too
at least
crazy.
an hour. No, you don't have to go far. It's just you're imparting those flavors. And with tequila, that's the great part about it with the agave is that it's really the sugars that you're looking, and your corn is already sweet naturally. So when you put that tequila in, it's just kind of add in that little bit of extra layer of sweetness. It's bringing it to, another level. And then you're putting the other stuff on it. So, one of those things.
Awesome. And then someone asked, do you use wood chips and do you recommend them?
Sure. You know what, with anything you're kind of cooking, with wood chips, what we talk about is you put them in some water for about 30 minutes. When you're done, we sell smoker boxes, a stainless steel smoker box that you put those chips in. The biggest thing with wood chips that we talk about is just to make sure, you take your grate out, you set them on top of your flavorizer bar. You can sprinkle them right into your charcoal. But the biggest thing with those chips is you want to make sure that smoke's going before you put your food on. We know food's only going to take smoke to a certain, say, time or temperature, depending on how big it is or how thick it is. The longer the cook, the more smoke food's going to take. The short cooks, they don't take as much smoke. So you just make sure that smoke's going before you start your food. And once you see the smoke, you start your food, and then it's just game on from there.
Cool.
And smoke's fun. Smoke's fun. We look at smoke as a flavor. Like it's almost like another ingredient in food.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely like a whole palette right there. Awesome. Do we have time for a quick giveaway? Our third one of the day?
We do. This one we're looking at premium gloves, right?
Yes. Yeah. So those safe gloves that you were showing us earlier, those will be the prize for this trivia. So back to the chat. Our question is, oh yeah, get a good look at those.
Oh yeah, these are great.
The question is, what temperature should a burger be at to be medium done? Whoa.
How fast was that one?
I think they started putting stuff in before I even asked the question. Oh my gosh. There were so many. I was talking about the burger itself, not the grill. So some people were putting 450, 475, but the correct answer is Aaron with 140. So that's the internal temperature that the burger should be at medium done.
Awesome. Nice job, Aaron.
Congrats, Aaron. Yeah, you just won a great new glove.
And these things never go out of style. Cool. I think I'll move into our next recipe if that's cool with everybody.
Definitely.
Okay. So we're using our Hormel pork loins. And these are awesome. So I take these out of the bag. There's a little bit of silver skin that runs on these. Silver skin is a membrane that typically sits on top of, with these loins, or if you see it with a beef. You want to remove it because it doesn't cook out and you really don't want to eat it. So you just kind of shimmy it and clean it off of the meat before you're going to do it. You could take these and roast them whole. But what we did for our purpose is we cut them down into these beautiful chops. You know, these are about an inch, you know, inch and a quarter, you know. So this is back to the thickness conversation we were talking about with the burger, where, you know, we know that burger 475, 500 degrees, 1 inch on these, it's the same thing. We're looking at about 500. You know, with steaks and chops though, at a 1 inch, we're probably talking about 525 to 550 is about the range you want to be in. Same process with these. We're going to oil them, and then we're going to season them. Same thing. I think I'm talking salt and pepper on these, which I have a premix. So process is the same with our grill. Turn on your gas, preheat it 10 to 15 minutes, clean the grates, oil our food, not the grate, season them up, salt, pepper. You can use a little bit of garlic. You can put any other seasoning you want on these. We're going to open our lid and we're going to put them on and then close and set our timer. We hear that beautiful sizzle, and that's what we want to hear. I have to get our Impossible Burgers off. So Impossible Burgers, it's the same, you know, 8 to say 10 minutes, depending on the thickness, 10 to 12 minutes if they're a little bit thicker. Pork chops, we just kind of talked about. So with this recipe, we did a pork chop with a black beans. And with these black beans, we did, you know, incredible. We used a lot preferida. You know, anytime I'm using beans, what I like to do, I open the can, I pour it into a colander, and I like to run these under cold water until some of that, the starch and the juice that's in there is gone. And then they're nicer to work with. So if I'm making like a corn and black bean salad, these are incredible to use. These are a sauteed corn that we did. You could do these in a grill if you wanted, if you have like a wok accessory, that kind of stuff. We diced up a little bit of jalapeno, diced up some onions. We sauteed that in a little bit of oil. And then we added these rinsed beans to it, and a little bit of chili powder, salt and pepper. And then at the end, we folded in a little bit of cilantro, you know. So it's incredible beans. They're easy to make. I want to say all together, our process was about 10 minutes. These pork chops, with them being about that 1 1/4 inch that we have going, they're about a 10-minute cook as well. So I did forget to mention on our Impossible Burgers, we used our aged cheddar, our Black Creek aged cheddar. So this is our cheese that we like to go with for these. You know, it's an incredible cheese, melts extremely nice in the grill, adds a nice layer of flavor. So, but that's what we did for that. So my apologies, I forgot about that one. Awesome. So then we wait. I tell you, grilling's kind of, honestly, it's about patience. It's about putting the food on, you preheat your grill. When it's, you know, set your timers, and then you really just, you got to let the food cook. You know, you notice that we've never once opened up anything to look at it. It's just the lid's down. We go about our day, and it just does. It does what it's supposed to do, as long as you're set to the temperature that you're supposed to be. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's the watch pot never boils kind of thing. So.
It's not gonna, you know, and you know, we could cook all day long, and believe me, I love cooking. No, I'll cook, but you're not going to enjoy your food as much with that lid open. It's not going to cook properly. You're not going to get those layers of flavor, the caramelization, the color, and everything else that you're looking to get.
Exactly. Yeah, you had a great phrase last year where it's if you're looking, it's not cooking.
That's it. Like, looking, not cooking.
It's a good one. And then someone asked what the internal temperature of pork chops should be when they're ready. You
know, typically with pork, a lot of times people won't take a doneness level on them like they would a steak. You know, we don't look at pork and say, okay, rare, medium. We equate a temperature, but it's not the same as like a beef. With pork, I like to take it to at least 140 degrees. And what at that point, it's going to carry over, and it'll be, you know, right in a medium wellish doneness level. It's still going to be tender. It's still going to be juicy. It's not going to be dried out. But I do take it to 140 degrees. Like anything we do cook, and if we talk about, say, like the elevated temperatures, the medium well and well, you can cook those foods good and still have them be tender and juicy. The biggest thing about them though is you don't want to overhandle them. Like a lot of people, they get impatient with those foods because yes, they do take a little bit longer to cook. So they're smashing them, they're pushing on them, they're trying to squeeze the juices out because yes, it will cook faster, but in the same respect, everything and all that flavor and juice just went away and the food's just not good. So, it's the same thing. Just let it go, cook it to 140, take it off, use your instant read thermometer. The two things that we preach here besides accessories and, my cool grill gloves that I love, thermometers and timers. That's the biggest thing. We cook by a temperature, meaning what is our grill at, to a temperature of like what's that food at? Because if I know both, I can get from point A to point B successfully.
Gotcha. And then someone asked, do you wrap the corn in aluminum foil before you put it on the grill?
I do not. I know people that do, and it's, I'm going to tell you there's no right way or wrong way. People can do what they like. For us to get this beautiful color that we have on this corn, there, Jason's getting in here. You can see these grill marks that we have on there. That's beautiful. So to get the color that we have on the corn, we cooked it directly on the grate. So we took the corn out of the husk, we cleaned the silk off of it, we buttered it, and then we hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I put it right on the grate. So what that's doing is it's grilling the corn. We're getting the color by putting it in aluminum foil. You create a pocket, and yes, you might get some color from it sitting directly on the grate, but you're more creating a steaming effect than anything else.
Gotcha.
Cool. So yeah, we love grilling. I mean, I don't know if Jason got the shot. We got some beautiful watermelon that we grilled up here. I mean, you can grill just about anything. I mean, the grills just add so much great flavor to food by, what they do.
Someone said they've grilled pizza before. So yeah, you can really do anything.
Well, it's funny you say that, because we love grilled pizzas here, and there's a couple trains of thought on them of, you could take your pizza, make it, slide it onto a stone right on your grill and let the convection heat of that grill cook it. Or you can take a dough, you flatten it out, rub it with some oil, and you flip it onto your grate. And then when you take it off, it has these beautiful grill marks on it that then you top it with your sauce and your cheeses and all that kind of stuff, and you put it back on to melt it. But you've added an extra, dimension to it by putting that those grill on it. So we love pizzas. We do pizzas all the time here.
There we go. Should we do our final giveaway?
We can. I got to find mine. I have it here somewhere.
Oh,
I have 4 of them out here. No.
Too many accessories.
No, never.
That's awesome. So our last giveaway is giving away a Weber grill brush as well as a $20 Jewel-Osco gift card. So this
nice.
one we're going to make you work for it a little bit. So first things first, everyone needs to turn on their videos to participate. And the first person to show us a item from one of the participating brands that we've mentioned this evening and type Chop and Shop will win. So are you ready?
Wow.
Set, go.
I'm not in front of a computer.
I know, I see people running already, so this is great. But yes, so I just put in the chat a little bit earlier. Okay, so Margie already put something. Where is Margie on this? There's so many people. Okay. Margie, what do you have?
What does she got?
Here, Margie, I'm gonna unmute you. You gotta tell us what the participating item is that you have. Let's see.
Was it a basting brush?
Oh, is it Weber branded? That's the trick. It's got to be a participating brand.
Pampered Chef.
Oh,
see?
We'll have to get you some Weber stuff to make up for that, though, because we can't be having that. You got to have some Weber stuff.
I know. Darn it.
See. All right. Our next one up is Kim Co. She typed it first. Where's Kim? Let's see. We're just searching through this whole crew. All right. Jay wrote out Chop and Chop and black beans and has La Preferita. So I'm going to say that Jay wins. That was so quick. There were so many people. So thank you so much for showing us your participating products. Jay, you've won. Congratulations. And we'll talk about the rest of our recipes. But congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much for joining for Chop and Shop. That's the last of our giveaways, but we are still talking about some of our other recipes, so keep a lookout.
Awesome. Yeah, we're just kind of finished this pork up. It timed out now. We're, take our thermometer, insert it in the middle. We're probably at about that 140-degree mark we talked about. If you're going to rest these, I just typically put them on a cutting board. I put them on a plate. I bring them inside. With it being beautiful outside, you don't have to do anything. If it's a little bit colder outside, sometimes we'll put a little bit of an aluminum foil on top of them, but we don't totally enclose it. It just kind of tents it, what it's called, so that air can escape. So, and that's really the pork. We talked about, the beautiful beans that we went with it. We cut these beautiful chops down. You can see we got a nice grill mark on both sides. We're resting it now. At this point, I'd set a timer for 5 minutes and, eat them when they're done. So I think we got through all of our recipes though.
I know, we did it just in time. It is 6:01, so I think
Wow, really?
we did a great job. Go team. Awesome. But yeah, let's if you want to review over all 4 recipes real quick, just say their name
Perfect.
and what date
can
we're
do that.
doing them. That would be cool.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I can say the date. How about that?
Please, because I don't have that in front of me. I'm holding the Laura's Lean.
All right, so Laura's Lean is June 6th, so this Sunday at Gurney.
Okay. Perfect. And we'll see you guys up in Gurney. We have our Tyson Cornish game hens. I believe that's next Saturday.
Yep, on the 12th in Oswego.
Beautiful. I know our pork, I believe we are serving this Saturday, the 5th, in Franklin Park.
Yeah, it's coming up. So definitely make sure to join us. It's 12 to 4 on each of these days as well.
See, I needed a refresh. And then our Impossible Burger, we're on Sunday, June 13th. This one is at the Palatine location, again, from 12 to 4.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, it looks delicious. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Thank you, Dustin, for hosting and cooking up a storm. I hope you enjoy all that food and that there's plenty of people, I'm sure, waiting to just get a taste.
There's a couple of us.
There's a couple. Pans over to entire crowd. He was talking at the beginning. He's like, "There's some people watching. They're ready to get this tasting." So
I think they ran away as soon as we lit up live, though. Everybody sees a camera and they're like, it sounds like fun, but it's not for me, and they go the other way.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for giving us all these tips and tricks. This has been great talking about all the accessories and everything. And thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to join us in person this weekend and next. And happy Chop and Shop. Happy summer grilling.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Awesome. All right. Have a great rest of your night. And thank you, Dustin.
You're welcome. Take care. We'll see you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.